we are doing here is to improve ourselves. And we really appreciate the support that you are giving here. And as you know, the Satya Sai Baba organization is a spiritual organization. It's a spiritual organization that encompasses all the major religions of the world, including the one that David Starr is mentioning there, but all the major religions of the world. Spirituality is a common theme that unites all faiths. So regardless of which background or faith you are from, spirituality and elevating oneself spiritually is something that's very important, that allows one to transform, to bring out the better of ourselves. And service is one avenue by which we can elevate ourselves. So Swami says in this quote, why do we do service? So when we started putting this mini workshop or a conference together, we were really wondering where to start, how to really crystallize this, the whole thing into a couple of slides. And when Brother Alex started talking, it was my other brothers who are going to be coming here in a couple of minutes, we are exchanging glances because this is exactly everything that we were going to say. Brother Alex had laid out perfectly. So there was a very clear, this is nothing short of a miracle here. And in this one, clearly Swami says, why do we do seva? And he says, if you go from the bottom, this is the best way to earn God's love. Right? But before that, consider social service as service to God. And even prior to that, he says, engage yourself in a service activity. In other words, he has laid out the steps very clearly. And if you follow each of those sentences, that's the path to God. And at the end, this says it all, love all and serve all. And your entire life will be sanctified thereby. So we kind of visualize this. As we can see the next slide, we were in a spiritual retreat a couple of weeks ago. And in that retreat was a common theme where, be it experiencing God's love or be it anything that is beyond us, something much more important for all of us. And we all want to achieve that. And in order to achieve that, let's say for now, experiencing God's love, that's the last thing that Swami's quote. To do that, consider doing social service. That's the service to God. And Brother Alex also mentioned that when you go there, when you are put up at the Swami's organization, it's like gold. He hammers you out. He puts you through this years and years of rigor until you are ready to receive His grace. His grace is always there. His love is always there. But one has to be in a state and be prepared to receive that. One has to rise up to that level. But Swami's love is available for everyone who wants it. And prior to that, we have to first start. We want the sunlight to come in. We are lying on the bed and say, I want sunlight. The thought itself is the first step. The second step is to get up from the bed and open the curtains. That is deserving it. And as soon as you open the curtain, the sunlight is available for everyone. It comes in. It is like that. This is a 3-step process. And if you look at this is the path. Service is path to spiritual elevation. It's God and divinity, whichever way one can internalize this. And in the next slide, again, he very clearly said, when we do service, there are 6 advisors he mentioned. And what are those 6 advisors? Honestly, I don't remember, but it was very well aligned with the thought of how do we do the service? That is something extremely important. We all want to receive God's love, and we are all desiring that, but we do service, and when we are doing it, we have to ask the question, how do we do the service? And our partners here, earlier they mentioned that their values are also so much aligned with what our Bhagavan is teaching us. You don't want to spread negative energy because it not only affects you, it affects everyone outside. And in addition to that, So from our convalescent hospital, Brother Alan said that now people there want us to come twice a month. It's a great opportunity. And also we said, yeah, that's a challenge to some extent. And Brother Alex also mentioned, okay, you guys are here, end of this year, 95 communities. Can you come up with a creative plan? That's a great opportunity. And now the challenge is that now let's all get together and come up with a creative plan. It's not impossible. With the grace of our Lord, we will be able to do that. So in today's workshop, we are going to be focusing on two aspects of this. This is going to be more of a conversation. We would like your participation. And Pawan is going to be focused on opportunities and challenges. And Brother Venu is going to be focusing on duty and devotion and why that is important to render service. So in the next few minutes, they want to come here and talk. Please feel free to ask questions anytime. And soon after they're finished, we are going to break into a Q&A that Brother Alex is going to be participating in. Thank you very much, and sorry.
So as I look out in the audience today here, especially in the male section, every single row has got big stalwarts of service. So I find a bit odd that I am being asked to talk about service, duty, devotion, and dedication. So I see a lot of you here. So I don't know why Brother Mohan tapped me to talk. I am uniquely unqualified to talk on this subject. But given that he's asked me to say a few here, right? Yeah. So I actually, when he asked me to talk on duty devotion, I looked up at, obviously, Googled a lot of quotes from Swami. So rather than misquote, I'm just going to read this paper. So Swami starts out by saying, it is our duty and birthright to realize the oneness of all humanity. So this is the ultimate goal. And with that goal in mind, Seva is the primary means to purify the heart and most efficient to make spiritual progress towards that goal. And this is a theme that several have already touched, so I won't belabor the same point. But Swami goes on to say, as one understands Seva more and more, one's consciousness expands and deepens, and one's Atmic reality is known more clearly. So these are extremely interesting quotes worthy of recollecting frequently. So then he goes on to say, Seva spreads happiness, and Seva is unique in the sense that it makes both the giver and the receiver happy. So, which is really thought interesting. So, I think it is our duty to actually do Seva and make spiritual progress through it. As far as devotion and dedication goes, as you all already know, it takes a lot of dedication to do any service. So if you take, for example, the breakfast seva, the lunch seva, etc., a lot has to happen to get the right set of people, the right set of materials, and everyone who needs to be present in one place at the right time, etc. So a lot of organization goes into making the service happen. And also, right, so that, maybe I'm just jumping ahead of myself here. So, in terms of, so a lot of these points have already been touched upon. So I'm going to touch upon 2 points that I have experienced while doing service. One is, let's take the breakfast here or the lunch here. So when you prepare the item for the receivers, you do it as a group, right? And invariably there is some chit chat going on, some small talk that's going on. So one thing I have learned from that is the service is best rendered in silence. So whenever you find yourself, your mind straying, engaging in small talk, just gently correct and bring the focus back to the service. So you can only fix a problem once you recognize the problem. So if you bring Swami's teachings frequently to attention, it will help you follow it. So that's all I wanted to say on that. So I've touched on all these topics. So I want to get back as quickly as possible to Alex's Q&A here, because I think an excellent job explaining that to us. So this I've already touched. So organizational skills, punctuality, focus. So as many have already pointed out, the focus should be on the service, and you should treat the other as yourself, and both the other and yourself are Swami. So when you're offering help to someone, you're actually doing Swami's work for Swami. So the service is by Swami and to Swami. So you are merely an instrument that is channeling the action. So, go back one second. So, in terms of, working under pressure, attention to details, all of us have already know the issues there. So these are some of the things to consider while offering service, and so and these are, I think, self-explanatory. This is Pawan's. Thank you for listening.
Salam, everyone. Good afternoon. As Brother Renu mentioned, Mohanji asked me to come in and say a few words about the opportunities and challenges associated with doing services. So what I want to do is to take a step back and give you a perspective of a simple-minded volunteer. And I'm speaking about myself, so keep that in mind. Right? So, for me, it's very simple. Getting involved in the service organization is my life, basically it's a lifeline. And so once I've added service in my life journey as an important compartment, it gives me the power and basically re-energizes me for every other aspect of my life. So, we live in Silicon Valley, there's a lot of hustle and bustle. We compete for everything. And interestingly, service is very interesting that there's competition there too. If you go, like the Home First service that we mentioned earlier, you go there at 5:05, the service starts at 5. If you go at 5:05, there's 15 other people ahead of you who are happy and eager to serve. That is the kind of energy you will feel, and it's contagious. So we want to take this opportunity to take advantage of this energy and channel it. So what's happening by working in this, going through the service projects, we're transforming from an I consciousness to we consciousness. It's allowing us to connect better with God, connect better with each other, better with our families. And for me, my son is only 6 years old, and he looks forward to doing service where he's helping make the sandwiches, right, once a month in that service activity. So again, there's an opportunity for me and him to talk about something other than school and what's everything else that's going on in life. It's a great mechanism to be around like-minded people who want to do something good. So I feel we're very fortunate. And I think everyone is busy here. Everyone is busy, right? We have so many other commitments. But once we have the intention, as Brother Mohan's slide said, right? To do, and you want to be involved in service, the opportunity comes on its own. And the second interesting point is, you know what, we've taken the rocket science of serving. The center has done a phenomenal job of addressing all the logistics. You don't have to go figure out, they will do the due diligence, they'll figure out what you need to do, what compliances you have to have, what vaccinations you need, all that, it's done. You just have to show up with an open mind and want to serve. And you get back a lot more than what you're giving, right? I'm a personal living example of this. I know pretty much everyone here is already doing that. As Brother Rainey said, you're a lot more qualified to talk about it, but I'm telling you, I'm experiencing, it's like, the jet current, right? I am getting the tailwind of all this positive energy in our lives. But I also want to take this opportunity to go to, actually, can you go to the next slide? So I address a little bit around the challenges. So when we talk about getting involved in the service activities, many of us say, there's some time commitment at Silicon Valley, I have so many things going on, right? You're absolutely right, you have so many things going on. But you know what? That we have collectively, the center has done a very good job to create opportunities for you to manage how you can get involved. You may say, you know what? I'm only available on the weekend. And like I mentioned, Home First, as an example, you go there, there's 15 people ahead of you in the service line, just wanting to serve. Then what? The center's officers are working to create more opportunities for all of us to serve. So as long as we have the intention and we voice that opinion and share that request with the center officers, they will create the right opportunities. Opportunities are there. There's 95 communities for us to adopt, right? So there's a lot of opportunity. So I think the opportunity exists. Another thing, I think once you saw that video, which is very, very powerful, we're addressing the entire spectrum, right? From a 5-year-old to 70 plus years old, different members in our center are getting a chance to serve, right? And some of these activities are very, very age specific. So you're not putting a 5-year-old in a situation that they would not be comfortable with. I think that the team is doing a very good job of creating opportunities that is right based on where the child or the parent or the young adult, the opportunity is right age appropriate and skill set appropriate. Some people might say, you know what, I don't like to do physical activities, I'm an intellect. Silicon Valley is full of those guys, right? Well, there's activities for you to help there also, right? So we will find the opportunities. All you have to do is get involved. The last but least thing is I wanted to mention is many of you use this as an excuse, saying, you know what, I need logistical support. I don't have a ride, I don't have this, I don't have that. All you need to do is ask. We will figure out a way to make sure you have the opportunity to give you the support you need, right? From training to anything and everything. You just need to say, you know what, I want to take this opportunity and I want to get involved. I feel a lot of energy in this room, and I think Alex did a great job of kickstarting it. And without further ado, I would like to move on to the Q&A session. So if you have any other challenges other than the ones that we listed there, feel free to bring them up and we'll collectively address them. Jai Sadhu.